I can let you into a little secret. Just moments before, or actually quite a few overs before the innings ended, our very industrious producer sent something on our WhatsApp group saying, do you remember a match Kolkata had once played, which was performance in Mumbai when they got 133? And we were like, yeah, sure. I mean, that was history. It's not going to happen this time. They're not going to get a huge score, but at least 150, 160 on the cards. Guess how much they finished with? 133 once again. So whether or not it's something we want to look back at, but we certainly will have to, because that is 133 for 9 in 20 overs, an innings that never really got out of second gear. Tripathi looked good while he was there. Karthik played a few good shots, but they never really got going. Welcome to this mid-innings analysis on Cricbuzz Live, brought to you in association with our fantasy partner, My 11th Circle. We can think of a lot of words. I'm joined by Simon Doull and Joy Bhattacharjya. Disappointing would be one that comes quickly to mind, but I suspect with 133, you'll have to be a little more harsh than that, Simon.
Yeah, it's just not good enough. Look, it's hard to judge until two teams have batted on the surface, but it didn't look like it was doing anything untoward. They bowled well, they bowled tidily. It didn't bowl like a team that should only get 133, though. I didn't think. There was one unlucky moment with Owen Morgan. The rest of it, they just haven't looked like they were at the races at all. Tripathi's strike rate 130, what am I looking at the app now? 138. So in the top five, he was the only one to strike above 100. Nitish Rana down at 88, Gill at 57, Narayan at 85, obviously Morgan run out, and Karthik only striking at 104. So there's no power in that top six to speak of outside of Tripathi. And then you just get blown away at the back end as well. Russell hits one boundary and gets 9 off 7. He's had one good innings. It was a pretty average performance, I would say, and a good bowling performance from Rajasthan, and below average batting performance from Kolkata.
Yeah, I'd be very curious, Joy, to be in that Rajasthan dugout at the moment, because I think they'd be as much taken by surprise as they would be praising the bowlers for a disciplined performance. No one's blown away the opposition.
I'd first like to congratulate Simon for just being 85 runs away from the target that we set. I was 75 runs away, Simon was 85 runs away. That's how much faith we had in this Kolkata batting order. And I think things have gone dreadfully wrong out here. See, I think one of the things, the only explanation I can think of is the Kolkata top order would have been told, take your time, play the game, because, we can accelerate towards the end, set yourselves up well. And then somewhere they got it horribly wrong. Morgan got mixed up. And the bowling was disciplined. I thought, other than that first catch that Yashasvi Jaiswal dropped, I thought the catching was really good. And, if you look at that, again, you can see that 4.16, they've stifled them right from the very start. There was never any point at which Kolkata looked as if it got away. Every time they'd hit a 6, they'd come back. They wouldn't get that one really big over, and that is important. So at no stage did, they look as if they were going to take over the game.
For people who understand automotive or modern automotive, there's something called cruise control, which is a button you can press once you've reached a really good cruising speed. But I think what Kolkata did was they pressed that cruise control button in third gear, which you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, it was, the innings progression, that was something Joy was just talking about. That progression just was not there. 4.16, not good enough inside the power play. They're struggling a little bit up front, aren't they? Shubman Gill just cannot get his mojo at the moment. He's finding different ways to get out time and time again. And he's just, it's pressure. There's pressure on him now because he is an international player. He is an India player now. He's no longer a young man making his way in this game. He is a genuine, bona fide Indian player. He's expected to do jobs and expected to score runs, and he's not doing it for his team. So that start is not good enough from a Kolkata point of view. And then it just sort of fell away. It never gained any momentum whatsoever. Rajasthan, again, I agree with Joy. The catching was superb. Really, really good stuff. But it does not look like a 133 surface. And time will tell. But you would kind of expect Rajasthan to come out and just blow the score out of the water inside of 13, 14 overs.
Yeah, Joy, I asked you about the Rajasthan dugout. I mean, you spent a bit of time in that Kolkata dugout, and at times when you come back in a situation like this, I mean, let's say in the opposition, Rahul Tewati has taken 5 wickets because the ball is turning square. Then you turn around and tell yourselves, we've got Chakravarti, we'll show you. But when you look, as Simon said, that the wicket hasn't really done anything, what do you then tell yourselves in the dugout?
I think they're telling themselves that these 20 overs could be between their staying in the tournament and getting out of the tournament, because that's what it is. Only 2 teams have come back. And, I just want to go back to that scoring rate. Have you seen a team, the highest runs that they ever got in a single over was 12. They got 12 2 times. They never got into double figures other than that. 2 12-run overs, never got into double figures aside from that. And you know what my basic problem is? My problem is not that they got to 133. Teams have got to 100. Teams have got to 90. They were not 31 for 5. They were not, they didn't get 6 wickets down because guys are going early and getting out and suddenly they collapsed in a heap. They collapsed in very orderly fashion. They went one after the other after the other. It's not as if at any one point in time they say, oh God, we are 52 for 5. How do we play ourselves out of it? That's my problem. That there was no urgency even when there was a situation. There was a point at which they had wickets on hand. And that would disappoint it would disappoint the fans hugely. It would disappoint people like Brendan and Morgan, who would hold themselves to a higher standard than this.
Yeah, I mean, and ironically, since Joy mentioned 31 for 5, the day they did get 31 for 5, they ended up with 200. So, I mean, if that's what you can tell yourself, then you really need to introspect and figure out where things went wrong. But they don't have time to introspect. They need to turn things around, find a bowler, find someone who can do something. Maybe Cummins at 145 does something, or one of the spinners.
Yeah, I'd like to see them start off with pace from both ends. They've bowled more spin in the power play than any other team Kolkata have. So part of that is because of where they played their opening contests down in Chennai, and I understand that. But when they came to Mumbai, before that first game, they bowled 70% of their overs inside the power play had been spin. So they started with Chakravarti there as well. And that means so those stats won't have changed a lot. I'd like to see them start up with Cummins, Prasid, or Mavi fresh into the contest, but just start off with some pace. Try and pick up some early wickets. Use the pace and bounce that's available at Mumbai, because if they don't bowl Rajasthan out, they don't win this game. If this game goes 20 innings, if this innings goes 20 overs, Rajasthan win the game. So they've got to pick up wickets up front. They've got to fire with that new ball.
Yeah, well, we can sort of sometimes get a little carried away with looking at a bit of post-mortem for the opposition, but another 20 overs have to be played. Let's give praise where praise is due. Chetan Sakaria, a young man, just imagine what might have been going through his mind when he was bowling to Dre Russ. That over could have gone for 30, Joy, but overall that spell 4 overs, 1 for 31, a very good catch.
No, absolutely. I think very, very busy cricketer. They say busy. That catch was fantastic because it's anticipation. Also, what I loved about Chetan Sakaria was his comeback. He's done a no ball. He goes and gets hit, and you think that's the point at which he's going to crack. This is his 4th over. It's his, he's going to come back in that spell. He needs to do something out there. And remember, the commentators have been talking about it, that he's always tended to go for runs in his last ball. He's somehow lost his discipline, or, and here is where he comes back. He controls that last ball and he controls that over. After giving away 7 in literally 1 ball, he comes back and makes it happen for his team. I think that's what shows. Also, what you can make out is that partnership is working. Him and Jaydev, they're talking to each other in the field. There's something there. If you take, hundreds of domestic wickets together, you understand when the other guy's out of rhythm. You know immediately, okay, guys, you can do this, play it this way. All these make a difference, and I was just, it's again seeing a young cricketer like that emerge. That's the one thing that this tournament just does in spades. That's so wonderful to see. Young kids just come up and just do it. Like, it is just so amazing. Year on year without fail.
He hasn't gone for more than 36 in his 4 overs yet. He's got 7 wickets in the tournament. He's bowled at least 1 over in the power play and at least 1 over at the death, sometimes more. In every game, and he's shown us skills. He's shown us great skills. I remember the catch to get Nicholas Pooran in one of the early games at Wankhede Stadium, where he's just dived away to a brilliant catch at short fine leg. It was a golden duck, I think, for Pooran off Morris it might have been bowling at the time. The catch tonight is just his energy in the field and his bowling. When you just starting your IPL career, you played 5 games now and haven't gone for more than 36 bowling up front and at the death. Well, a lot to like about him.
And if I could just add one more fact to that, you're playing in a franchise who haven't at the moment set the place on fire. They've got more problems than they have good things going for them. So add to that, it's even more of a pat on the back.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. I think also what Kumar Sangakkara and whatever the Rajasthan Royals think tank has done in the dressing room, they've come out with discipline, they've come out with purpose. Now, there's a lot that will depend on this second innings and how they play it. But they really, really, after the way they were hammered in their last match, I thought it was an excellent comeback from the team.
Yep. Now the big question is, what magic can Kolkata conjure up to stop the rampaging Rajasthan batsmen? And I just use that because of alliteration. We don't know what they're going to do at the moment. But purely in terms of the opening batting, the batting order we showed you earlier, which was perhaps Butler and Jaiswal, is what's happening, Simon. So keeping that in mind, and given the fact that we were, 70 plus away, I was 62. I did really well. I was only 62 away from the predicted score. So thank you very much. But given that we were all not winners, we have a second chance with a power play score for Rajasthan. And that, I think, will tell a story of how you think they'll attack this, Simon.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I went first last time and made a fool of myself, so I'd rather you guys had a turn, if you like.
All right,
you go first. You go.
I'll go first this time around, since I was so close last time. I'll go for a cautious start, but a few boundaries here and there. So 6 overs, 42. 6 overs, 42 for Rajasthan. There you go. Joy?
Okay.
49.
6
overs, 49, even more. Done and dusted soon.
I think Jaiswal will just be a little circumspect up front, so I'm going to go 37.
37, 42, 49. Will it fall within that? Plus minus 5. We're talking power play, but the onus is not on us. The onus is on the batsman. It's much more on the men in purple to try and provide something, a spark, to see if they can defend just 133. We'll see you in the 10th over on Cricbuzz Combox. And Rajasthan, if they are more than halfway towards this, well, that's where they'd like to be. Thank you, Simon Doull. Thank you, Joy Bhattacharjya. We'll see all of you at the mid-innings or at the middle of the next innings. This is Cricbuzz Live, brought to you in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle.